I am Eratosthenes of Cyrene, born around 276 BC in the vibrant Greek city of Cyrene, located in modern-day Libya. From a young age, I was captivated by the world around me, a world full of mysteries and wonders. I wanted to understand everything, the land, the stars, and the workings of the human mind. My curiosity drove me to seek knowledge in every field, and this desire would shape the course of my life. Cyrene, a colony of Greece, was a place of intellectual vitality. As a young boy, I was immersed in the teachings of our culture, but it was clear to me early on that my ambitions stretched beyond my homeland. To satiate my hunger for knowledge, I traveled to Athens, the heart of Greek learning. Athens was where the greatest philosophers, mathematicians, and poets gathered, and it was there that I found myself among the intellectual elite of the time. In Athens, I studied under the great Stoic philosopher Ariston of Chios, whose teachings on logic and ethics left a deep impression on me. I also studied with Lysanias of Cyrene, who helped refine my love for literature and poetry, and Callimachus, who influenced my philosophical and literary thinking. The exposure to such a wide range of subjects deepened my intellectual curiosity. My passion for learning led me to explore various fields: philosophy, literature, geography, mathematics, astronomy, each offering its own way to unlock the secrets of the universe. It was in Athens that I first gained recognition for my intellect, but my life truly changed when Ptolemy III Euergetes, the ruler of Egypt, summoned me to Alexandria. Alexandria was unlike any other city I had encountered. It was the most magnificent intellectual center of the ancient world, home to the famed Library of Alexandria, the greatest repository of knowledge ever assembled. To be invited there was an honor beyond my wildest dreams. Ptolemy offered me the prestigious position of head librarian at the Library of Alexandria. I accepted the role eagerly, and for decades, I oversaw the most comprehensive collection of scrolls and manuscripts from every corner of the world. As the chief librarian, I was responsible for managing this vast treasure trove of knowledge, and I devoted myself to ensuring that the library was not merely a place of study, but a beacon for scholars everywhere. The years I spent in Alexandria were some of the most productive of my life. I had access to knowledge that few could even dream of. I surrounded myself with brilliant scholars and intellectuals who shared my passion for understanding the world. I spent my days studying the works of mathematicians, astronomers, poets, and philosophers, always seeking to expand my own understanding. Though I made many contributions to various fields, the achievement for which I am best known is my successful measurement of the Earth's circumference. The question of the size of the Earth had long fascinated scholars, but no one had ever been able to calculate it accurately. I was determined to solve this problem using the tools of geometry and observation. I had heard reports that in Syene, modern-day Aswan, Egypt, the sun cast no shadow at noon on the summer solstice, meaning that the sun was directly overhead. However, in Alexandria, at the same time, the sun did cast a shadow. This observation was key to my eventual breakthrough. Using a simple stick, or gnomon, I measured the angle of the shadow in Alexandria on the same day and time that the sun was directly overhead in Syene. I calculated that the angle was approximately 7.2 degrees, or 1/50th of a full circle. This told me that the distance between Syene and Alexandria was about 1/50th of the total circumference of the Earth. By estimating the distance between the two cities as roughly 800 kilometers, I was able to multiply that figure by 50, arriving at a total circumference of around 40,000 kilometers. My estimate, made using only the simplest tools in geometry, was remarkably close to the actual value that we know today. This calculation was a triumph not just for me, but for the power of human reason and observation. With nothing more than shadows, distance, and mathematics, I had unlocked the size of our planet. My work on the Earth's circumference was only the beginning of my contributions to the field of geography. I was fascinated by the idea of mapping the known world, and I sought to create maps that were more accurate than any that had come before. Using the information I gathered from travelers, explorers, and other scholars, I created maps that included detailed representations of the landmasses, seas, and rivers of the known world. But my most significant contribution to geography was the creation of the first system of latitude and longitude. By dividing the Earth into a grid, I made it possible to pinpoint any location using coordinates. This system, while primitive compared to the one we use today, laid the foundation for modern cartography. It allowed for more accurate navigation and exploration, and it remains one of my proudest achievements. I also wrote a comprehensive treatise on geography, known as Geographica. In this work, I described the physical features of the Earth and the different peoples who inhabited it. My goal was not just to map the world, but to understand the connections between geography, climate, and human behavior. I believed that the environment in which people lived shaped their customs, politics, and culture. While geography and astronomy occupied much of my time, I never abandoned my love for mathematics. In fact, I made several contributions to the field, most notably my invention of the sieve of Eratosthenes, a method for finding prime numbers. Prime numbers had always fascinated me because they are the building blocks of all numbers, and I wanted a way to identify them efficiently. The sieve works by systematically eliminating the multiples of each prime number, starting with 2, from a list of numbers. What remains after this process are the prime numbers. It is a simple yet elegant algorithm that is still taught today as one of the most effective ways to find primes. The sieve of Eratosthenes has stood the test of time and remains one of my most enduring contributions to mathematics. My curiosity about the universe extended far beyond the Earth. Astronomy was another field that captivated me, and I sought to understand the workings of the heavens. One of my most ambitious projects was to calculate the distances to the Sun and the Moon. While my calculations were not entirely accurate by modern standards, they represented a significant step forward in the study of astronomy. Using geometric principles, I estimated that the Sun was much farther away from the Earth than the Moon, and though my measurements were rough, they were groundbreaking for my time. My efforts laid the groundwork for future astronomers who would refine and build upon my ideas. Though I am often remembered for my contributions to the sciences, my interests were not confined to mathematics and geography. I was a man of letters as well as numbers. I wrote several works on literary criticism, particularly on the works of Homer. My goal was to bring the same analytical rigor that I applied to science to the study of literature. I believed that poetry and philosophy could be studied systematically, just as we study the natural world. I was also deeply influenced by the philosophies of the Stoics and Cynics, though I never fully aligned myself with any one school of thought. I believed in the importance of reason, moderation, and the pursuit of knowledge as the highest calling of life. For me, the pursuit of wisdom was a way to live in harmony with the universe, and I sought to understand both the natural world and the human experience. As I grew older, my eyesight began to fail me, and with it, my ability to engage fully in the intellectual pursuits that had defined my life. For a man who had devoted his life to the pursuit of knowledge, this was a difficult burden to bear. The world that had once been so clear to me was fading, and I found myself increasingly isolated from the studies that had brought me joy. In the end, I made the difficult decision to end my life. I could no longer continue as I had lived, and I chose to die on my own terms. According to some accounts, I starved myself to death, though this decision was not made lightly. It was a rational choice, guided by the same principles of reason and logic that had shaped my entire life. Though my life came to an end, my work lived on. I had measured the Earth, created maps that would guide travelers for centuries, discovered methods to identify prime numbers, and contributed to the study of the heavens. The knowledge I had gathered and shared during my time at the Library of Alexandria became the foundation for generations of scholars who followed. In my lifetime, I was sometimes called Beta, a nickname that meant I was second best at everything I did, but I never sought to be the best in any one field. Instead, I prided myself on my versatility, my ability to move between disciplines and make contributions in a wide range of subjects. I believed that knowledge was not something to be confined to one area of study, but something to be explored in all its forms. I am Eratosthenes of Cyrene, and my life was dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. Whether through measuring the earth, mapping the stars, or studying the works of poets, I sought to understand the world in all its complexity. And though I may have been called beta, I believe that my life's work speaks for itself. Through my contributions to geography, mathematics, astronomy, and literature, I left a legacy that endures to this day.